best player was on tour, simply because I wanted to actually work as hard. And then I ran into George Knudson out of Canada, and I watched him hit the golf ball. I watched him with the wide stance, taking the club back way inside, releasing the club. One of the greatest balls.
To the right, and then back toward the target. So I feel this body rotation to my trail side, my body weight. Here I feel lots of it, 3/4 of it. Now I'm going to throw it back the other way. I move from the ground up and toward the target into my finish position. Hey everybody, Barry from Olo and Success, and today's lesson I'm going to talk about George Knudson, the natural golf swing, and your own natural golf swing. George Knudson was the legendary Canadian golfer. He won, I think, 8 times on the PGA Tour in the late 60s and early 70s. And he's known as one of the best swingers of the golf club ever to play, and one of the best ball strikers ever. And his swing is still studied today by many of the top instructors and people in the golf industry. And his book, The Natural Golf Swing, is probably one of the simplest and one of the best golf books you can ever get, because his belief was everybody had their own natural swing, and it's based on the laws of motion and how you move, which is a simpler way to move the golf club, and it reduces a lot of the clutter in the swing. It's not how your swing looks, it's how your swing moves, and it's based on the movement patterns of your body and the laws of motion, not so much your style and method, it's how you move.
I presented my theories to physiologists and biomechanists, and they agreed that the laws of physics and the body movement can happen naturally in the swing motion. The golf swing is based on centrifugal force. The trunk of the body is the center of the force. Control the center to control the motion. The arms, hands, and the golf club merely extend from the center symmetrically. A proper starting position and a proper finishing position allow the momentum of the mass, that is, the arms, hands, and the golf club, to flow as it may during the swing. This results in a perfectly natural and mechanically sound swing motion.
Do a little demonstration here. We're going to do a little half swing drill. I'm going to talk a little bit about the body pivot and rotation and how you can use that to help your golf swing. We're just in the final, I guess, the closing lap stretch in terms of getting our basement finished finally. Hooray, it's going to look a lot nicer down here, and we're got our launch monitor ordered and our setup for the golf studio, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'm just going to go over to the far wall here. I've got to walk over some of the boards and that. I'm just going to go around to the side. This drill a lot, half swing drill, fantastic drill for learning to swing the golf club a little bit better. Again, you can do it inside. You don't need a lot of room. I'm set up, I take the club halfway back. You notice at the halfway point, club's an extension of my target line. It's parallel to my target line. The toe of the club is up. There's been no rolling or coming to the inside. I'm trying to get into this nice halfway back position, and then back down and through the opposite on the follow through side to complete the swing. And George Knudson, in the swing motion, he talked a lot about how the game is played from the knees down, with the feet and the ankles, and that's so true. That's how the golf club moves, and that's how we should be moving that golf club back and forth, rather than trying to drive it with the arms. And in a good golf swing, I talk about the kinematic sequence quite a bit. In a good golf swing, there's a definite pattern of motion to all good swings, no matter how the swing looks. And that general pattern of motion on the backswing is the club head moves first, followed by the lead arm, then the torso, and then the lower body, and then that sequence reverses on the downswing so that it's the lower body, pelvis, torso, lead arm, and then the golf club comes whipping through. And so the speed and power of the golf swing is based on centrifugal force. It's based on using gravity and rotating your body to use a gravity effectively in the golf swing and moving the parts in the correct sequence so each part builds upon itself to generate an effortless, easier, powerful swing and a consistent swing. It's a more consistent way to play because once you get the club head moving, it stays on that path that you've aimed. So wherever you aimed it, it'll stay there. You don't have to guide it. You don't have to manipulate it. And George Knudson talked a lot about that in terms of learning to transfer your weight in the golf swing, how to use your body rotation to move the golf club. And that's really, really important. I'm going to demonstrate here. I've got my trusty balls here. I use these a lot for practicing and teaching. I've got my medicine ball here, my 4K medicine ball. You don't have to use that though. There's lots of different sizes, or use a little beach type ball, play ball. But the idea behind using the ball is that you train yourself to use your weight transfer, your body rotation to move the ball rather than your hands and arms. George Knudson talked about voluntary and involuntary actions in the swing, and any actions of the hands and arms are basically involuntary, and we would like them to be a reaction to how the body is moving. So it's useful to feel that when you use the ball as a weighted ball. That will help give you that feeling for that, so you're going to move the ball with your body rotation. I'm just going to set up here in my golf stance. Got my feet balanced. Always remembering to try to get a little bit more weight on my heels, on my toes. Settle into my knees a little bit. Put the ball out in front of me, let it hang down naturally. Now I'm in a good position to move back and forth. To the right, and then back toward the target. So I feel this body rotation to my trail side, my body weight here. I feel lots of it, 3/4 of it. Now I'm going to throw it back the other way. I move from the ground up and toward the target into my finish position. So I'm actively using my rotation and that weight transfer to move that ball, to load into the backswing position. I'm not sliding my body because we still want to remember the correct sequence of motion. I'm not sliding my body, but the ball moves, the arms move, the trunk, everything moves and rotate back. So I'm active with the weight transfer, but I have a good sequence of motion. I'm staying stacked up over my feet and I'm staying centered. We don't do this hip slide here. And at the halfway point here, I'm going to have lots of weight already over here. I should feel almost 3/4 of my weight balanced into my right side or my trail side here. Just like that. And then from here, I want to move the ball in that direction. I want to throw the ball almost, get that feeling of it. And I want to do that from the knees down. I want to use the feet. I want to use the ankles. I want to use my lower body to bring the ball around. Rather than do this. This is what most golfers do. They go like this. They throw the ball with their upper body. Right? So this way you end up with that chopping action and you're going to come across it and it's not very consistent. And it's not very accurate or powerful. So again, just here, back, rotate back. Got lots of weight here already, staying centered. Now I'm in a position to use my lower body. I'm going to transfer my weight. You can see how my pelvis leads. My weight moves from my right to my left to start that downswing. and then up into that classic finish position, rotating to face the target, and I complete the swing with all my weight over here. I'm not holding. So using the balls is good because it gives you a feel for the motion without manipulating the golf club with your hands and arms. Just many golfers will, well, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna throw it out like that, and they start the swing from down here. Too much with the hands. You want to get the club moving, then the arms, the torso, and the body, and we rotate so the weight moves to the right, and then rotate back toward the target. And using the balls is very useful in a confined space where maybe you don't have room to swing the golf club. So from here, once I get the club back, once I get the ball back into this halfway position here, well, now I'm simply just rotating to the top to complete the motion. Now I can start down, boom, into the finish position. So it's a really good, effective practice drill if you don't have room to swing a golf club. Gives you the feel for that swing motion. It'll keep your body limber, it's going to help your mobility and help you with that sense of the swing. And when I'm setting up here too, if I'm looking at the down the line view, my arms are hanging down. When I turn back, I'm not going in behind me. That ball is now really heavy. It's pulling on me because it's off my body center. If I go back properly, I make that proper turn and let that ball swing straight out from me, the ball's really light. It's balanced up against my body center. The ball is really light. It's very easy to go to the top of my backswing. And then starting down, my arms return close to me again. And then back down and through. Again, if I'm throwing it with my upper body, how does the club move? How does my arms go? Well, they go like that, right? So you throw it out, and then you pull it in. Not a very effective swing motion. Set up here, rotate back, rotate through to the target side. So George Knudson was a big proponent of using your feet, using that lower body to move the golf club. And all the top players, that's what they do. They're very active with their feet and very active using the ground to move the golf club. That's your source of power. That's what gives you consistency, keeps the club on line, lets you hit those long, straight, free shots and a good free flow. And then from there, I use this drill a lot, half swing drill. Fantastic drill for learning to swing the golf club a little bit better. Again, you can do it inside. You don't need a lot of room. I'm set up, I take the club halfway back. You notice at the halfway point, the club's an extension of my target line. It's parallel to my target line. The toe of the club is up. There's been no rolling or coming to the inside. I'm trying to get into this nice halfway back position. And then back down and through the opposite on the follow through side to complete the swing. If you have a little bit of trouble with manipulating the golf club, make sure you don't squeeze the club too tight. Have the club held in your fingers. We'll talk about that a lot more in some more lessons. But try not to grip the club too tight. And if you need to watch the club head go back and through for the first few swings, that's fine. So here now I'm watching the motion of the club back and through. And that will help eliminate some of this business going on in the golf swing. Oh yeah, there I am, good position there. Back and through. Good position there. You can also use a couple tees on the ground as guides to, once you get the feel for the motion, to swing the club head through the guides. It's a really great drill on the practice range. We do some of these back and through swings, halfway back, halfway through. Put the ball up on the tee and just practice clipping it off the tee with this half swing drill. You'll be amazed how solid you hit it in the center of the golf club and how straight and how far it goes for such a little swing because you're moving efficiently and properly. So set up again, partway back, right, there's that motion. I feel the weight transfer here, that good sequence and body rotation to move the club back, good sequence and body rotation to move the club through. So give that a try. As George Knudson said, everybody has their own natural swing. Everybody has their own best swing. And that way, the swing is a lot easier. It's much simpler. It repeats more, it's effortless. You don't get injuries, you're not confused with a lot of clutter about the golf swing. Just have to focus on the body motion, get set up, and let it go. So give that a try, practice it in your basement, get ready for the golf season, it's coming up, and for those of you that are already out playing golf, give that drill a try on the driving range. I think you'll really like it. Barry from Hole in One Success, we'll see you again.